A lot of cool stuff happening here today. Again, welcome to SEMA 2013. This is a fabulous session. This is the Racing and Performance Forum. So this, again, your chance to interact, to ask this great group of experts that we have here from the motorsports performance racing industry here. And a lot of cool things happening, but I mean, there are so many things happening at the SEMA show. The personalities, the products, the fun, the buzz. And this is really cool. What we're going to start off with is something really cool. And this is a typical example of what we're talking about, the megatrends happening in the industry. The people. As my good friend Wilfred Eibach says, motorsports brings people together in relationships that are forged on the track, even after the track, and into your life. They become part of your life. Well, one of those great examples is Cleo Shelby. I actually just met Cleo last year at a dinner that Terry Ledwidge from Link arranged, and we typically get together on Friday after the bell rings. About midnight, we're done. We go over to Benihana, and Terry said, well, Cleo and her daughter are available, and come over. Said, absolutely, put it on, and we had a blast. And we said, and I don't know whose idea it was, Cleo, but we thought, what a great idea to do a tribute to Carroll Shelby. So please welcome Carroll Shelby to the podium to do a great tribute to her husband, Carroll. Thank you. Cleo? Thank you.
Hello. Well, many of you are familiar with the name Carroll Shelby, I hope. It's a great American car. My husband was a visionary, and he was present at the beginning of SEMA in 1963 and watched it evolve over the years. And we always enjoyed coming here because Carroll always looked to the future. He always pushed boundaries, and he just got so excited about the new technology. But coming here, it was like an Aladdin's cave for him. As long as he could dodge the autographs, he was good. In his golf cart, and he didn't hit anybody, which is even better. But anyway, a brief history on my husband. I'm sure many of you are familiar with his achievements. He was born in Texas, raised in Texas. He joined the Army purely because he loved flying, and it was his way to train and become a pilot, and then to become an instructor pilot. Unfortunately, due to a double transplant, a heart transplant in 1990 and a kidney transplant in 1996, he lost his pilot's license. And he really wanted to fly, so he said to me, you'll have to become a pilot so that you'll get the plane up and I can handle the controls. So we used to go out together and fly, and he was an excellent pilot. We had many happy trips, but unfortunately, as I say, the license was gone. When he was young, he tried several business ventures. He was an entrepreneur, and as he said to me, entrepreneurs sometimes get arrows in their backs. And so he'd just pick himself up, and he'd move on to the next challenge, which was ultimately motor racing. And he drove on some dirt tracks, and one of his first races at MGTC, and it was against a Jaguar XK120, and Carroll, with little experience, won the race, which gave him the courage to go to another race, and another, and another, and the rest is history on that, which ultimately, in 1957, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as Driver of the Year. He was noticed by a man in England called John Wyer, and he ran Aston Martin. And they invited Carroll to join the Aston Martin works team. And Carroll went on to win Le Mans with my very close friend, Roy Salvadori, and my other very close friend, Sir Sterling Moss. As you probably gathered, I'm English, and so I didn't really know much about American racing drivers. I came from the British stable, so my friends were Sir Jack Brabham, Sir John Surtees, who won the World Championship motorbike and cars. And so I was unfamiliar with the American side, but they made me very welcome, and ultimately I came here for a holiday. We got married, thanks to the two people sitting on the front row there. Anyway, chest pains ended Carroll's racing career, and then he started to have a vision for a car. He loved the American engines, the power, but he also liked the lightweight cars in Europe, and he thought if he could marry them, that he would have a very, very fast car that would take on the bigger, heavier cars. And so was born the AC Cobra. The AC was a very old English company. But with an American engine, this car moved. And it started to win a lot of races. Ford helped him, and Lee Iacocca. They worked with him. They gave him $25,000 to start, which in those days, I presume, was a lot of money. These days, I don't think that would get you too far. Lee Iacocca is still a very dear friend of mine. He lives near me in Bel Air. I had dinner with him. And he's still alive, but showing signs of wear and tear. Then Lee asked Carroll to turn the Mustang into a race car, which Carroll did. He couldn't think of a name for it. So he said to one of the guys, walk over to that building. How many steps is it? So the guy was like, oh. So he walked over. He said, about 350. He said, we'll call it GT350. That'll be cool. So that's how the Mustang got named. In 1965, he won the World Manufacturers' Championship, FIA, with the Cobras, as everybody knows. He was actually, at the time, going to enter the Cobras, but he had to modify them because they were like a brick, as he said, on the straightaway against the Ferraris, so he had to modify the back. And that was about the time that kind of it was changing here, the emissions control and everything. Carroll went to Africa for a few years just to get away, and he came back to England. First to Ferrari. He spent a summer with Dino Ferrari, who he liked very much. He wasn't too keen on his father, Enzo, because he put drivers against each other, so that when they raced, ultimately some ended in death. He has many, many friends, very charismatic friends. As you know, Carroll came from Texas, so we had a small holding there, but I wanted to enlarge it. We now have large estates in Texas where I breed black and red Angus, and we make Kobe beef, which is still operative now. I run them since my husband's death. Carroll and I, we shared a vision of the future with Ford. We got the Ford contract mid-2000s. He worked on the GT40 concept car, and hence to the Mustangs that you see on the road today, which are made in-house in Detroit. We here in Las Vegas take the cars and we can make them into 1,000 horsepower, Super Snake, or whatever you want you can have on that car. It just is really so many options. We're now looking at young talent, entrepreneurs, also Goodyear tires, because we have the franchise for racing. And we like to keep the company customers happy. But we look here to tomorrow's world, which is what you're seeing now at this exhibition. And the technology is moving at such a fast pace, it's amazing. But anyway, as far as cars are concerned, when Carroll will always ask, what is your favorite car? He'd always say, the next one. And probably will be. Thank you.
Thank you.